Four, three, two, one.
I'm too old for this shit.
Hello, welcome to the Electronic Eggs Capsule. Joining me, as always, is Paul.
Hi, Chris. You okay?
Hi, good mate, good. Thank you. Feeling good after a North London derby victory.
No. I was driving back from Doncaster after being at the games market. Quite excited as goal after goal went in, but keeping within the speed limit, making sure every mile. Anyway,
It was great fun.
brilliant,
Great fun.
absolutely
Yes.
fantastic. I do regret in a way not going to the pub, but it was quite an experience there. Just driving back to Wigan, just going, oh, this is lovely, and then. When I finally pulled up, the final score was in. I heard a very angry Tottenham fan on the phone in afterwards and just had a little smile. But anyway, yes.
So let's move on then. So as usual, the capsule episodes are where we cover, in case you're new to this listening, we cover the month of November this time in the year 1985, 1995, 2005 and 2015. And then we do that on a monthly basis. That's for people who are new to it. I would also really appreciate people to leave us some reviews and feedback anywhere. I just really would like to get some sort of feedback because there are a lot of you listening and you don't leave us feedback anywhere. Okay, cool. So let's move on then. We'll start in the year 1985 and movies this month. We start with one of my absolute favourite movies of all time. That is the Richard Donner directed movie with a story by Steven Spielberg and the screenplay by Chris Columbus, if I remember correctly. And that is The Goonies. Paul,
And
are you
a
a fan
big
of The Goonies?
80s classic. Not one I've watched for a long time, but I picked it up fairly recently because I want to show Theo. The other night we watched Gremlins, and then for the first time with him, and then my wife said, "Right, we need to put Goonies on for him now." And when we told him there's a character called One-Eyed Willie, he thought was absolutely hilarious, which makes me quite excited to actually show him the actual film. But no, I think it's just one of those where it's just one of the 80s action adventure films that we've talked about, before. It's sort of, I don't know, I'd say it's a film of the time,
I don't
It's
think
got
so.
comedy in. Do you not think so?
No, I think it actually stands. I know, like everything in it, outside of them going on the adventure, is very 80s.
Yeah, that's
But
how I mean. Sorry.
But when they're on that, when they get it to the Fratellis hideout, from there on, it's something that you could watch at any point in history. It's a classic thing of kids going on an adventure, and yeah, I think it stands up incredibly. I went to watch it at the cinema. Was it last month or the month before? Because it was the 40th anniversary, the American 40th anniversary of the movie. Or maybe it may have been July or June. I watched it this year at the cinema on my own, as I am one to do. And yeah, I absolutely loved watching the cinema because I didn't go to watch this in the cinema when I was a kid because I was 6.
Yeah,
And
ditto.
my parents thought it looked too scary, but then we watched it a year later on Betamax. And yeah,
I always forget about your Betamax collection.
So this is one of the movies we rented in 1986. And I remember watching it as a child and just thinking, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen. Until a couple of months later, we rented Back to the Future. And I was like, this is the greatest thing we've ever seen. Also, we will be speaking about Back to the Future next month, as it's 40 years in December for us over here.
Wow,
So,
that's
I know.
amazing. I mean, one thing I do like about Goonies is the fact, like what Stranger Things has done as well years later, you've got a whole mixture of kids, like with their own backgrounds and, skills and everything like that, but they all they're all needed together to work together and
Yeah.
things like that. You know, they all bring something to the table. And I suppose it's God Almighty. I
Obviously,
can't remember the name.
data is a little bit, sensitive at this point, I think,
Yeah, but
with the Asian stereotype. And then you've also got Chunk, his like the Jewish stuff against him. It's kind of
yeah,
that sort of
but
they're a bit dicey. So I will say those bits of age. But again, those bits go away when they go on the adventure, right? Those are only there at the beginning, like
yeah, it's like
during.
when it's like mates taking a mick out of each other a little bit. You know, we're getting to do the truffle shuffle and stuff like that.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
yeah.
But it is
Anyway,
fantastic. I mean, the cast is absolutely incredible as well. Like at the time, you got Sean Astin, Josh Brolin, Corey Feldman, but then you had like Jeff Cohen in his only movie. He played Chunk. The
mm,
only role he did in the movie. And I was surprised he never did anything else.
that's mad. That definitely.
But then I was so pleased to see Ki Hu Guan. Is it? Is that
Yeah,
how you
yeah.
pronounce
Who
his name?
played
He
thingy?
played Data, and see
Yeah,
him now in movies and leading movies as well.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It took
It's
him quite a while to come back as acting, though, didn't it? You know, because
It
obviously he
did,
was known
yeah,
for Temple of Doom as well.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, it was a big deal. You know, when he started obviously acting again, and like you
yeah. I
say,
was so pleased to
in
see
big
him come back.
parts.
Him and Brendan Fraser coming back around the same sort of time just
Yeah,
warms my heart. But yeah, absolutely essential movie. I showed all my children except my youngest the movie, and they've
I
all
don't think there's
loved it.
anything really bad in it. I remember the cocaine joke. That's
Yeah.
early on.
Well, there's
Um,
also the bit when he's speaking Spanish and he starts talking about the sex dungeon to the house cleaner.
right, okay, right. I might have to
Yeah.
basically fast forward that minute then. You know,
Yeah.
when I do watch that
Um,
with Theo, you know. But no, I think we're gonna watch that next couple of weeks. I've promised him Gremlins 2 next though.
yeah, I'd watch Goonies over Gremlins too. Did you play the Goonies 2 on the NES?
Yeah, once, probably about 10 years ago, but I just wasn't that into it at all.
Yeah, you don't like Metroid games, do you? And
No,
this is
this is
kind of
probably
like a
why.
Metroidvania adventure
Yeah,
thing.
yeah,
I
because for a
love
while
that
I did
game.
have a NES, but yeah, this
It
does nothing
confused
for
the
me.
hell out of me though as a kid when I bought that on the NES, because I was like, when did they make the movie? Because the box art of it is the kids, and there's like a mermaid in the background. And I was like, oh my god, when did they make the movie? And I went to my video shop and I asked for it, and they were like, they never made it. There's not a
Do you
Goonies 2. And I was like,
do
but
you
there's a game.
remember do you remember that, knockoff called the Go Kids?
No.
If you search for it, you'll see it.
No.
It's called The Go Kids, and it's like a Goonies knockoff, and I think it was a British film. I seem to remember because I
From
remember
what I
seeing
remember,
this in the video shop, and I was like,
yeah.
"Oh my god, what is that?" You know, and it's like, "Oh, it looks like the Goonies, but not as good." Right, sorry, this is a very boring thing to do. This just reminded me then, The Go Kids. Da, 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 da. I'm just trying to think if it's got a different title. But anyway, um, let's carry on to the next one because
Well, first of all, I
otherwise,
just want to go
oh,
through
go on.
one more thing about the movie. Is that obviously Spielberg was meant to be directing this, but was busy doing something else. I can't remember what movie it was. So that's why he got Richard Donner to do this one.
Okay. I mean, look at the people involved though with Chris Columbus as well, and again, he was
Uh,
involved with Gremlins as well.
he was, yeah.
Um,
He's going to be
yeah,
directing Gremlins 3.
I just hope that that's good. You know, I
Well,
really,
they're
really
doing
do.
Goonies 2 as well, aren't they? They have said that they are doing that, and also that Jeff Cohen is coming back to acting for this one movie.
That's absolutely crazy. But the thing is, you have people of our age, and if they advertise it right, our kids' ages as well, you know,
Yeah,
going absolutely mad for it. I think I've
yeah.
just sent you the picture. That Go Kids is also called Frog Dreaming.
I have never seen this before in my entire life.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Absolutely insane.
The box art looks exactly the same as the Goonies.
Thank you. Yeah. Anyway,
The kid on the front has even got the denim jacket on, like Mikey.
I know.
That's
It's absolutely
insane.
insane. The
Yeah.
Legend of Frog Dreaming. Henry Thomas is in it from E.T. Is it?
Oh, right. I always get him and Sean Astin confused anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
There we
Okay, so
go.
let's move on then
Anyway,
to
sorry.
the other
Yeah.
movie released this month,
Yes.
which was Santa Claus the Movie,
The Dudley Moore one.
the Dudley Moore. So this film then has Dudley Moore, who plays Patch the elf. John Lithgow plays a toy manufacturer, and you've got David Huddleston playing Santa Claus. David Huddleston, you'll be shocked to know, is around our age in this movie.
What?
Yeah,
Sorry,
he's like,
what?
I think he's like 50 in this movie, so he's not much older than us in this movie. He looks maybe 80.
This is like
Absolutely
Biggie all
mental.
over again. Cocoon.
I know, it's absolutely insane. I couldn't believe that when I did some research on him, and I was like, oh my god, he was only 50 when he played Santa Claus. I'm 46. I look a lot better than he does. But yes, so this film, so Patch is this elf who he tries to win a competition to be like the head elf of toy distribution or something, but then sort of cuts some corners and things start going wrong, and Santa Claus gets returns for the first time, and then Patch sort of goes off and joins up with John Lithgow and creates like this new thing, which is like a lollipop, and yeah. And it goes from there. Santa Claus befriends a street kid who's kind of like a tough boy, but he falls in love with this rich girl who ends up being John Lithgow's niece. It's not explained how John Lithgow's niece ends up living with him. They don't talk about her parents or anything. So, but yes, there is. But yeah, one of the things because I watched this recently because my kids wanted to watch it, and like as in this weekend just gone, and yeah, I never noticed this before as a kid, but there is definitely something going on between Patch and Mrs. Claus.
Okay. I've not
Right.
watched this since being a kid, so it's been a very, very long time since I've watched
Well,
this.
I would suggest you watch it and look for the sexual tension between the elf Patch and Mrs. Claus, because it is there. And I was thinking, whew, something's happened between those two. Like you can tell. Yeah.
Well, the kids
Lonely
want to
night,
watch Christmas
lonely
films
Christmas.
anyway.
It's a lonely Christmas
Yeah,
Eve. Mrs.
exactly.
Claus,
Exactly.
while Santa's away, Patch, he's the younger, dynamic elf.
It won't be on for long either. I mean, the kids have just been watching Christmas Chronicles 2 before we started recording, so they're in the mood for Christmassy films, hence Gremlins the other night.
So yeah, let's move on then to music for this month. So we have two singles were number one for the month of November, and they were A Good Heart by Fergal Sharkey, which is a fantastic tune.
Yes, I love that.
Yeah. Also, Fergal Sharkey, very, very good man at the moment for trying to stop, our government from destroying our waters. So I have much respect for him for that. Have you seen the video of him? There's a YouTuber who's asking people, like she's wearing like goth gear and stuff, and she asks random people in the street if
oh god,
if
yeah,
they would date her. And
yeah,
she goes up to Fergal Sharkey, not knowing who he is, and and he's like, well, you look like a lovely lady, but I don't think my wife would let me do that.
It's brilliant. I know, I had to watch that a few times. I kept laughing.
Yeah, I thought it was brilliant. I was like, oh, that's so cool. And the other number one single is Wham! I'm Your Man. Don't you know?
Yeah, it's all right. I've never
It's
really
kind of
been bothered
catchy.
about
I was quite drunk one night, and I went. When would this have been? Late 90s, and I went into a McDonald's because the queue at the burger van was absolutely heaving, and this came on and ended up dancing with some like random stranger to it at McDonald's. I think Wham! they did some catchy tunes. This is not one of their best. So moving on to albums. Once Upon a Time by Simple Minds.
I really, really, really like this album. This is like one of my favourites. I know this is just when they've gone to being a proper stadium rock band. But like the tracker "Old Jungle Land," I absolutely love. That's on here.
That is a
And
good tune.
honestly, it never gets that much love. So like, someone bought the 40th anniversary of it the other week, and then I was there just like rabbiting on about it, just going, "Oh my god, it's so good!" This album.
It is. Ghost
It,
Dancing is absolutely fantastic
yeah,
as well, and Alive
yeah,
and Kicking. Yeah, it is a
no, it's
fantastic
good.
album. Yeah, it's
It's
really
good.
good.
It's just surprised it's
And
40 years old now.
I
You
know.
know, but the band
Um,
is still going, and they are doing some good stuff again now. They seem to have a settled lineup again. You've still only got two original members, Charlie and Jim, but
yeah,
they've had a settled lineup for, I think, about a decade now, and obviously they've put out quite a lot of albums, and they've one of those now, like you know, Duran Duran and other bands from that time, that sort of Nova audience, but because they probably not under as much pressure to be selling records, you know, you sort of like feel like they're almost having another renaissance period. A lot of these bands like OMD as well,
yeah,
where they're just going, yeah, okay, put a record out when you're ready, and they're putting out like quite a few vibes from the early days, because like Simple Minds on their last album, one of the lead singles was a track they recorded back in the 70s. They're like, I think it was from 78, 79, like right at the start of their career, more or less. And then they just updated it a little bit, so it was quite interesting to hear that. But for the last, I'd say 20 years, they had a bit of a poor decade, like Duran Duran did, really. But then they started, picking it up again. So, yeah, before we know it, that's going to be 50 years old, and God, the years are just going so quick. But yeah,
they are,
that's
and
my
we're all
favourite
gonna
Simple Minds album anyway. Anyway, we'll
we're all
carry
gonna
on.
die.
I know.
Um,
Sade next, is it?
Sade next with the album
Sade?
Promise, or Sadie as I like to call her. So it's a band.
Yeah.
So but it does have the absolute banger, "The Sweetest Taboo" on it.
It's just not going to do anything for me. I see her stuff in all my years in music shops, but it's not something I ever listen to at
Well,
all.
that is a great tune. I would recommend that one. So let's move on to television then. So the television is all children's shows for
Okay.
this month. So on BBC One on the 7th of the month, Ulysses 31 debuted here in the UK. The original release of this was 1981, I think, at some point until 1982, like late 81, early 82. It's a French-Japanese anime series, and obviously it's based on the Greek mythology Aeneas. And it's set in the 31st century, but there's only one season of this, despite it being absolutely fantastic. But it's 26 episodes, so it's quite a beefy season.
Yeah, I
And
mean, a lot of the
through
kids ones there, tend to do like 20 odd,
yeah,
sometimes like 30
but they
odd.
did that. They did that to get into syndication, right? To become a
Yeah,
ongoing
exactly.
series.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
whereas this obviously did not. But this one for me, this really was one of those shows that I couldn't wait for. Like every week, I'll be like, oh my god, I cannot wait to watch Ulysses this week. Because it was once a week, wasn't it, back then? And you'd have
Yeah,
to wait.
yeah.
And but this theme tune was absolutely amazing.
I seem to remember like the likes of Philip Schofield and that, like, like back in the broom cupboard and stuff, like, because
No,
he always
I
used to.
think I
Was it
can't remember who
was
it
it
was, but it wasn't.
BBC?
It was
Was it
BBC
not
One,
Philip
but it was
Schofield?
85, so it would have been
So yeah, it
before.
wouldn't be Philip Schofield.
Yeah,
I'm just thinking
yeah,
back to like when we used to have, like sing-alongs and stuff like that.
yeah, because it was on
Um,
it was on what and then became CBBC, not CBeebies, but CBBC. It was on that sort of hour. We used
yeah,
as children, we'd get like an hour of television a day back then, and you'd have to choose between that or ITV. At that point, you'd be like, "Oh, which children's shows do I want to watch?" Yes, that would be one of the shows that I would choose to watch. I loved Ulysses. Like I said, I used to tape it every week as well on Betamax. So I'd have it.
What
So good.
it reminded me a lot of Jason and Will Warriors though as well. Like the
Well, it
art
was that
style as
the
well.
art style was the same. It had that anime look, but it also had
Yeah,
that French look as well. Because it's different. Like the Daft Punk
yeah.
album.
I'm just
Um,
looking at some pictures of it now.
yeah,
Because it never jumped out as a favorite, but um, but it was all about the soundtracks as well. The
yeah.
soundtracks for so many 80s cartoons were just like, Around the World with Willy Fogg, Dogtanian,
This
Jason
is the
Will
gold.
Warriors, Thundercats. Yeah. Just the list goes on.
And
Every
you've got
single song
the
is a
raccoons
banger.
for
Yeah,
the
yeah.
the
Run with us. Yeah,
yeah. That's
yeah.
the end credits as well. So you would actually sit and watch the end credits of the
Yes.
raccoons because you'd be like, I need to listen to this. I get really melancholy when I listen to that. Whenever I've watched the raccoons as an adult, when that
Yeah.
music comes on, it just makes me feel like I did then. And I was always sad when I heard that music at the end, and I still have that now. It's a weird thing. Because it is on ITVX, the raccoons, so you can watch the entire series on ITVX.
I just watched this was about a month ago. There was the music video which was on YouTube, not the raccoons version, but it's just like the woman singer and she's
Yeah.
like dancing in the street and stuff. And then because of Spotified it, well, I searched it on Spotify, there was metal versions of it by different bands, and then
Yeah.
just all these other like remixes. And I was like, oh my god! And then anyway, we were driving in the car for about half an hour of listening to all these different versions of Run with Us. I think I sent my wife mental. But
That would have been
anyway,
me mental as well. I once did that with the All the Things You Said, not Simple Minds, the tattoo
oh yeah,
song.
yeah,
I did that and ended up going like down like Korean K-pop stuff with it as well, and covers
yeah,
and then like thrash metal and stuff. Mental. Anyway, UC31 is fantastic. There is a
yes,
DVD released on this, but it is
yeah. I've
quite
just seen
expensive
that.
now.
Yeah, yeah, because it's been
Um,
ages since that came out. I
yeah.
just had a quick look at it.
But it is worth picking up if you do, if you like animation from the 80s. I would definitely pick this one up. It's very very good. And one of the things that I like about it as well is that it doesn't pander too much to the West, where in the localization, whereas stuff like Battle of the Planets and things like that were very different
Yeah, yeah,
to
yeah,
how they were meant to be in tone and everything. Whereas this is still like you have a bit of comedy relief, but it's not like it's an actual like quite a dramatic TV show
yeah.
for a
No, no,
children's show
no.
on TV on BBC. But yes, anyway, let's move on to still on BBC One. This was on the 11th, so probably the same week. Was Johnny Briggs, not the actor from Coronation Street, Johnny Briggs, but the television show Johnny Briggs, which also had a banging soundtrack. Was like,
But it was recognisable,
it
wasn't
was
it? Because
very recognizable.
it
Yeah,
was live action. Was it
yeah.
Northern?
I think it was Sheffield or something, wasn't it? It
Right.
was.
Okay.
Was it? Or
Well,
was
still
it
not.
Bradford?
Yeah.
Why does
I don't know.
Bradford come to mind?
I don't know. But
It might have been Bradford.
I've not watched this
Oh,
since
yeah,
it was on.
it's filmed in Bradford. Yeah,
It's
there
something
we go. Let's
I've
find
never
it.
gone back to. But again, the soundtrack again was memorable. So even if
But
you're in
again,
the other room, then you heard that with the trumpet, you were like, "Oh,
yeah.
right, Johnny Briggs is on."
Yeah,
You know.
I really liked this as a kid. I used to watch it whenever it was on. I really, really enjoyed it.
I think you always got though a good mixture of shows, because you get things like this as well as the animation as well. It was a good mix, and then like you say,
Well, there was
because
also stuff like
shows on
Jossie's
different days.
Giants as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
Do you remember Jossie's Giants? So good.
Yes, I
What's his
do
face
remember
with the
that.
Pidger? Geordie Racer.
I
Do you remember
didn't
Geordie
bother with
Racer?
that. No, I
That
do
was a.
know it, but I didn't watch that. You
I
know,
really like that as well.
I just again because remember we had the Saturday morning cartoons as well. As well as the after school stuff from probably only 4 o'clock till 5. Till
Yeah,
Newsround came on, and
there
then
were
Blue Peter.
there was a kid in my school who didn't like watching any of the English TV shows. He only liked watching American cartoons.
Fair
And
enough.
it's like, what
But
a
it's missing out on
dick.
quite a few. So every day, because it always started with something like. In fact, it must have been from 3:30 because it always started with something like Button
I
Moon.
think it was 4 o'clock.
Over on that. Do you reckon it was that late? Is it?
Yeah, I think it's 4 o'clock until 6, right? No, until 5:30, because you'd get
Yeah,
neighbours
because they're
and stuff.
neighbours. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, and
and
stuff. So
then in
yeah,
six
you'd
o'clock
have in
news.
about an hour and a
But they'd
half,
also
wouldn't
have a
you?
break. You'd also have 10 minutes of news round as well.
Yeah, that was definitely on at 5:10. Sorry,
Yeah,
5 o'clock till 10 past
ten
news round.
past. Yeah,
You know.
and then you get
Anyway,
2 more cartoons in before they stuck neighbours on.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
good
Okay,
times.
cool. So on ITV on the 13th, so 2 days later than Johnny Briggs, was Alias the Jester. Do you remember this?
I recall it, but
So this
again,
is one that has Richard Bryars as Richard Bryars from The Good Life, and many other things. But that's the thing I know him from most as a growing up. And yeah, it was really cool. It's quite a funny children's show, and it had a really good
yeah,
theme tune as well, which I remember.
again, of course it did. It was the
Yeah.
80s.
Yeah, really enjoyed that. But yeah, Alias Jester thought it was a really good show. So let's move on to video games. We have 2 video games from November 1985 to talk about. Neither of them shit either, which is really good. So the first one is Daley Thompson's Super Test, which came out on the ZX Spectrum, the C64, the BBC Micro, and the Amstrad CPC.
Daley Thompson, one of the biggest sports stars at the
Yeah.
time,
But
most recognisable.
so this
And
was
obviously,
different.
it was different to the arcade, though, wasn't it?
So this was so you remember the first Daley Thompson
The decathlon.
track and field was the first one.
Right, yeah. Okay,
That was
sorry.
just a reskin of International Track and Field by Konami, the
Yeah.
arcade game. This is I don't know which one this is from, because this is Decathlon, right? On the other systems, it was just called Super Test on the Spectrum, but it was called Decathlon on C64, Amstrad, and all of those. But so this is the one where it has like sports that Daley Thompson didn't do. So you've got javelin, you've got pistol shooting, tug of war, penalties. Well, you do have hurdles. He did do hurdles, I guess, didn't he? There's 100-meter sprint, ski jumping, rowing, giant slalom, and the triple jump. So some sports Daley Thompson did not do in that.
Most of them.
Most of them he did not partake in. But yeah, this was it was it based on like Hyper Sports, the Konami Hyper Sports
Yeah.
game?
It sounds like it because of a shooting. I'm sure that's
Yeah.
in Hypersports.
So I'm pretty sure that was our version over here in the UK. We had Daley Thompson slapped all over it. Which I'm not complaining about. Daley Thompson was like a hero when I was growing up,
No, exactly.
I
Exactly. So
loved
it
him
made
so
sense.
much. Him, Duncan Goodshoe, they were like 2 people that I was like, oh, I freaking love those guys, They could do no wrong in my eyes. My mum did meet not Daley Thompson, Duncan Goodshoe once, which is great. She brought me back an autograph because she knew I was a big Duncan Goodshoe fan. Just and I was like, oh, it's not Daley Thompson, but it will do. It will do. So the other game then that was released was the Ultimate Play the Game Nightshade.
Never played this. There's so many Ultimate Play the Games titles I've never played, even though I could put it on my Spectrum Mini, which I still haven't used.
Is it not on there?
God. I don't know. It might be because it wouldn't surprise me. I couldn't tell you what's on there.
Like it's one of that and Night Law are like 2 of the key ZX Spectrum games. Along with like Manic Miner and School Days and things. But yeah, no, this is another isometric game, and yeah, you just do a bit of hack and slashing while you're walking around. But you can also, yeah, it's really cool. I haven't played it in years, but I did play it a lot as a kid. It was the box art that really drew me to it. It's like this. It's got this like little old style, like thatch house thing, but it might be an inn or something. I can't remember. I'm trying to remember this from memory. And it was just like this dragon sleeping outside of it, and there's this like little lamp on the street corner of it, and it just looked so magical. And I was like, I have
Yeah.
to play this. I have to get this game. And I remember buying it from our local news agents. I can't remember the name of it now, but it doesn't matter. None of you would know which news agents I'm on about anyway. But it was one in Cherry Hinton, if anyone knows. There was like where the Budgeons on Budgeon's Corner. If anyone from Cambridge is listening, it was the little news agents on the corner there that was there. I think it's now like a betting shop or something. I don't know. I've not been to Cambridge for ages. But yeah, that's my Nightshade experience, and I do remember absolutely loving the game, but not getting very far in it because I was crap.
It's good though, isn't it, where you can just remember certain shops, like when we talked about video shops and videos for sale in petrol stations and stuff like that. Over the years, it just feels
Yeah.
like so long ago. And if you're
Oh, I
telling
know.
people nowadays, like our own kids going, "Oh yeah, you used to go and pay for your petrol, and then you could go to the video spinner and choose a game or choose a film to buy,"
Yeah.
and things like that. It just sounds odd,
Oh my
but
God! I just
everyone wanted it.
remembered. I got 2 packets of the Back to the Future sticker album, even though I hadn't seen the movie at that point. From that corner shop at the same time that I picked up Nightshade. That's so weird. That's just come back to me.
But
Because I
that's just
remember
it. 'Cause
having a certain amount of money and I knew I could afford 2 packets of stickers and the game.
back when
So
stickers
yeah,
were about 12p a pack and
yeah.
things like that.
I think they're like 20p or something. But I
Yeah, they're
remember
cheap,
thinking
aren't they?
I did go there with the intention of buying spunking my whole budget on stickers, and then I saw this cover, and then I looked at the back, and I saw it's like a knight and things, and I was like, I was
Yeah.
obsessed with medieval shit at that time. Like my mum made me a birthday cake that year, which was she made a castle, and then she bought the little the little metal figures. Well, they weren't metal; they were plastic. They had like the
Britain's. No,
metal.
no, it's Britain's the Knights.
Yeah,
Britain's
that's it.
Knights.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I used to have some of
my
them.
mum, I used to have loads. I had like armies of them, like French versus the English and things like
Yeah,
that. And it was
yeah.
like, oh, it's so good. But my mum bought more of those because I wouldn't let her use my toys. And I was like, yeah, you're not using my toys on your cake, mum. They are my toys. And she's like, but it's your cake. I'm like, yeah, but other people will touch my cake and they will then touch my toys. I don't think so. So my mum had to go into Cambridge and buy some more of the toys for me to put them into my castle that she made. She made this amazing. I wish I had a picture of it because she made a castle cake which looked like a real castle in cake form. And then this, I remember she even did like a bit like sort of it looked like it was cut out, but it wasn't. It was like an illusion, one of those optical illusions for like the water, and then like a moat, and then like a bridge going off it, and the bridge over it was chocolate fingers. And then she
Oh,
made like
nice.
the drawbridge. And no, it was a drawbridge. That was it, and it was made of chocolate fingers, but it actually moved. So you could actually
Yeah,
lift
that's
it and put it down
amazing.
and stuff. Absolutely incredible. That's how I was so into medieval shit back then. But yeah. Anyway, let's move on
Yeah,
to
yeah,
news.
yeah.
One bit of news this month, 5th of November, Mark Kaler defeats Errol Christie to become the middleweight boxing champion after the two brawl in front of the cameras at the weigh-in. I mention this because I do remember watching this brawl on the news at the weigh-in, and I remember thinking, "Wow, boxing's amazing!" Like because they were properly going at it when they were just at the weigh-in. I do remember that being on the news.
No,
Your
I
silence
wouldn't
tells me
say
you do not. Yeah.
no. It's not the type of thing I'm bothered about. Even now, with boxing and stuff, it's like no. Like for example, I caught up with two friends I worked with at HMV the other week, and we were talking about what was it? The rematch? Was it Eubank Junior and
Oh yeah. And what's his
someone
face,
else?
Junior?
Yeah, Junior and Junior.
Well,
And I was
he
like, oh
isn't
god,
Junior, is he? He's the son of
yeah, yeah,
Ben. I can't
um,
remember. No,
yeah.
not Ben.
Anyway,
Yeah,
but yeah, Ben. I
it was
think.
Ben.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm sure it
I
was.
can't remember his name, but yes, I do. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It was like
Anyway, so even there, I was like, oh wow, I didn't know that was a thing, But yeah, there we go. And then yeah, that basically just sums up my boxing knowledge. you know.
Yeah, I've not really got into boxing for years, but I used to be as a kid. And then I did do a lot of boxing, like when I was a teenager, because my uncle thought it'd be good fitness, and he was a boxer. He did lots of boxing, so I went to his boxing club to learn to box. Yeah. So anyway, we will take a quick break. You will listen to something that I would imagine will be an advert from the 1985 year, and we'll come back and we'll talk about 1995.
Busy. It's the taste that puts the into physique.
Hello, welcome back to the year 1995. We are at the end of 1995, pretty much, Paul.
I know. Again, still one of the
1995.
best times.
1995 is going to be 31 years ago soon,
That's like crazy.
isn't it? Isn't it just?
It really, really is. I mean, it's 2/3 of our lives ago.
Yeah,
You know, it just sounds mad. You
I
know,
I can't believe it.
when I think of it. But I think back to having so many good memories. You know, I really do.
Yeah, me too. And one of those good memories is our first movie, and that is Crimson Tide, the Tony Scott directed movie starring Denzel Washington and Gene Hackman. One of my favorite movies, like in my top 10, this one.
We've talked about this before, and I've still never watched it.
Oh my goodness gracious me, Paul. It's so tense. You'd love it. It's brilliant.
I just always thought it's like going, how's the film just on a ship going to be tense? You know,
Oh man, it's so good. I can't, it's hard to explain without going like too far into it, because you really need to watch it to really understand how good it is, right? So they're out on just this, like, I'm trying to, they're like, I'm like, not, they're not out to like go and seek and destroy or anything like that. They're just
Yeah,
out on
yeah.
exercise, I think it is. And Denzel Washington, this is his first post as a second in command. So
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
and Gene Hackman is this long-standing captain, and the two clash before things start getting real. They get sent a message, but it's cut off during the transmission,
Okay.
and they don't know what it says. And one of them is like, "We must, do nothing. We wait and see if they send another one." And the other one's like, "No, we prepare for war." And it's that sort of tension between captain and his second in command. Yeah, it's absolutely brilliant. The supporting cast are really good as well. You've got Viggo Mortensen in it as well, and James Gandolfini.
So some big
They are
names, obviously.
both excellent. And also, it was ghost written by Quentin Tarantino. Like, he ghost wrote the screenplay.
I heard this on a podcast recently as well, and it was just before he got like really big.
It was
Yeah, well,
after
I
that.
know
This is after Pulp Fiction.
no, but even so, but I thought he'd, because he'd like wrote things like True Romance years ago, and
Yeah,
things
and Natural
things like
Born
that. So he'd
Killers.
been right, yeah. So he'd still been writing films and stuff. But again, I might have the dates wrong on that. I can't remember which podcast was discussing it, because we were talking about the early days of Tarantino, before he
Yeah,
went to superstardom, as to put it.
because the original screenplay is written by Michael Schiefer, who wrote the story, but apparently, like, the studio were not happy with the screenplay, with the screenplay at all. So they got someone in, which was Quentin Tarantino, to do it. And if you watch it, you can see, because Tarantino's at his best when it's conversation, right? And
Yeah, no, yeah, because he's brilliant at those scenes. They're some of the
yeah,
best ones. You think of True Romance again with The Watch and Christopher Walken and
yeah,
Dennis Hopper and things, and then
and
anything in Pulp Fiction.
yeah. If you watch Crimson Tide, you will absolutely be like, "Oh yeah, I can see, right, where it's come from," because it's all conversation. The movie is a conversational movie. There's little action, for a movie set on a submarine. But it's absolutely incredible. And Gene Hackman and Denzel Washington facing off, and you just think, oh my God, this is like a heavyweight title fight, right? Of them landing blows on each other with their acting. It's like, oh my God, this is incredible. Yeah, love Crimson Tide. I will never have a bad word said against it. So you
Well,
need
it's
to
on
watch
Disney
it.
Plus. It's on Disney Plus. So yeah,
That's going to
let
make
me,
me stay up late tonight.
right. Well, that's on for 2 hours. So yeah, all right. Maybe it's one I can watch.
Yeah, definitely watch it. It's absolutely brilliant. If you don't like it, I'll give you your money back.
Good, good.
Yeah.
We'll call it 20 pence, something like that.
Next movie is something I didn't really like at all, despite it being from the director of the best Star Wars movie, and that's 1995's French Kiss, which was directed by Lawrence Kasdan, who obviously
Is
we all
this with
know.
Kevin Kline?
Kevin Kline, Meg Ryan, yes. Yeah.
No, not seen it. I remember seeing it in video shops, but not something I'd watch.
I went to watch it in the cinema because Jean Reno was in it.
It's following on from Leon. You were like,
Yes.
yes, fancy some
Yeah.
more Jean Reno. Why is he not shooting
Yeah.
anyone in this?
Why is he not watching Transformers? And I like Kevin Kline as well. I loved Kevin Kline from Fish Called Wanda. From that point on,
I went
love
through a period of that because I also, when that film a couple of years after came out, In and Out, where he's the
Yes,
gay
that was
teacher,
1996 or 97,
never gets
wasn't it? Yeah.
mentioned. Never gets
It's a good
mentioned.
movie. Funny movie.
Yeah.
That.
No, I think it's quite good.
Yeah.
But no, French Kiss, not one that I'm bothered about.
I wouldn't recommend it, despite it being Lawrence Kasdan, which is one of the other reasons I went to watch it, because I was like, oh, Empire Strikes Back. Yeah, but alas, no, it's not to that standard. So the next one then is, and this is an absolutely fantastic movie. Please tell me you've watched this. To Wong Fu, Thanks for Everything, Julie Newar.
I don't remember anything from it. I watched this with my ex-wife. And yeah, totally. Is this one with Patrick Swayze in it? No?
Yeah, so it's Patrick Swayze,
Right.
Wesley
I get it
Snipes.
sometimes mixed up with what's it called? Priscilla.
Oh, Priscilla, Queen of the Desert with Guy Pearce.
Because I think I watched both of them at roughly the same time.
Yeah, it's weird how films do that, right? Because it's like you've got Deep Impact, Armageddon, and you've got Wong Fu, and then you've got Priscilla.
A drag queen double bill.
Yeah. And this is Patrick Swayze, Wesley Snipes, John Leguizamo, who play a trio of drag queens. It's a good heartfelt movie. You don't agree?
No, not something. No, it's not something I'd go out my way to watch again.
I think it's really good.
I'm not even seeing it get mentioned anywhere for absolutely ages.
Well, I think Patrick Swayze's really good in this. I like Patrick Swayze anyway.
Was right? He was a big actor still at the time.
I think he was on the wane at this point.
Like about to say he's coming down from his peak, but he was still bankable. Yeah,
and Wesley Snipes being in this, despite him being in like quite big movies, not much before this,
he's known as an action star because of Demolition Man and Passenger 57 and a few others, which aren't coming to mind. But yeah, it was. I think that was just it. It was surprising to see him in it.
Yeah, but it is. I like this movie. I think it's pretty cool. I liked the fact that none of even though you got Wesley Snipes and Patrick Swayze, these two big stars, right? Who, Patrick Swayze was in a lot of movies, like Roadhouse and which is quite a violent movie. Next of Kin, Next of Kin, and Point Break as well. Where it's an action movie again, but they don't ham it in this movie. And I respect that, and I respect the way they were in it. Wesley Snipes does overplay the voice a little bit in the movie, but his actual acting is not like I'm doing drag for a fun. Do you know what I mean? He's sort of respecting the material, which is good. Yeah, I like it. I like it.
Okay.
And we have 2 more movies, and both this is a really good month for movies, bar French Kiss. We've got GoldenEye, which we spoke about earlier in the year in the James Bond episode. But yes,
Yes.
GoldenEye, Pierce Brosnan's first outing as 007. And it's good. It doesn't hold up very well today. This was the first one directed by Martin Campbell. And yeah, it's...
Why do you not think it holds up that well today? It's like because I
it's
suppose it's having to change course from the Dalton ones, and there've been a few years
See, so
gap.
the Dalton one, so the
Things.
first Dalton movie is which one's that? Is that View to a Kill? No,
No, it'll be
no, it's
License to Kill,
no,
then Living
License to Kill is the
Daylights, isn't
last
it?
one. So it's the
Oh, it's
Living
a Living
Daylights, the first
Daylights.
one.
Yeah,
So the Living
yeah.
Daylights, I think, is similar in tone to GoldenEye. License to Kill, they're like, they rip Felix up, Felix up with a shark in like the opening.
Is that the one with Robert Davi in it as the bad guy?
Is he the guy
Sure,
with?
he's in one of them.
Is he the guy who's in the Goonies?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. Then it's he's in
Yeah.
that one. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I think it has more in common with that. And obviously, Pierce Brosnan was meant to be Bond before Dalton.
But he was doing.
He was
filming.
Contracted to Remington Steele.
Yes.
Yes. Which they tied him down to that contract because of the talk of him becoming Bond. So they got him to sign a lucrative contract, and then he couldn't get out of it to play James Bond. So that went to Timothy Dalton, and then finally, I think it's like 8 years later, he got to play James Bond.
We've cancelled Remington Steele, Pierce. God damn it, what now?
I've never seen Remington
but you're still
Steele.
not allowed to do any Bond for up until the mid-90s.
But going back to your point about it, I don't feel it's aged that well. Is the pacing of it? It's all over the place.
Right. Okay.
If you watch the pacing, is just it's a weird film. If you watch it, I remember liking it at the time because I hadn't seen a Bond film in years at that point. It's like, wow, I haven't had a Bond.
That's
for a
why
long
I'm
time.
asking though, because everyone's like up for it. It's a case of it's the return of James Bond. And it's a new Bond, and I feel like this is what we're going to be waiting for whenever they come up with the next Bond.
When they
I was saying
resurrect
someone
him.
at work.
Spoilers.
I don't think. No, I don't think we'll see a new Bond film till 2030. I
Especially
said
with
that at the
Amazon
time. It's going to
taking
take
over.
almost. It's going to take. Well, they talked about having Bond spin-offs and stuff, didn't they?
Yeah.
And things like that. James Bond Jr. is coming back.
Can't wait. That's another show with a great theme tune. But yeah, I think there's a nostalgia attached to GoldenEye because of the game. I think more than the movie.
Yeah, I mean that's just it. Because in the game, the game's documentary, that Golden, God, what was it called? Is it called GoldenEye?
I wish Danny was here. He's in it.
Yeah, I know. Well, that documentary that Danny's in, just and again, he's welcome to come on anytime he wants to, or
it's
he
his
can.
show. So yeah,
I know. No, but that's just it. So obviously they talked about working on that game from when the film was released, and then by '97 having to put it out, and then adding the multiplayer. But I think that is one thing. So people go, "Oh, GoldenEye," and then got to watch the film, but I seem to remember, my love for Bond. Every time I want to watch a Bond film, it's either a Connery or it's a Moore Bond. Those are the ones that I've got the best memories of because they always seem to be on ITV all the time when we were kids.
Yeah,
but
I think there's only one. There's only one watchable Connery movie now.
I mean they've probably dated quite bad.
Which one is it? Goldfinger.
Man with the Golden Gun. Oh, right.
No, Man with the Golden Gun. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, the one with Christopher Lee. Yeah.
Yeah.
The real James Bond.
Yeah. Well, the thing is this, right? I think at the time when Bond's been away, right? So Bond's been away from, was it 89? I'm thinking.
Yeah,
he's been away for about. It's about 6 years,
yeah.
right? But in that time, You've had big action films like Under Siege. You've had stuff like
Mission
what's it called, Die Hard
Impossible.
2.
Oh no,
You've
Mission
had
Impossible's a year later, isn't it? Yeah.
you've
Yeah.
also got Die with Vengeance this year as well. You've just got a lot of other big action films, and I suppose that's just it. It's a case of it's all your big. It's a tail end of your action heroes.
Yeah.
Like your Arnie films and things like that. And remember, like only a year before you had True Lies in '94.
Yeah.
So I think people may have just forgotten a little bit about Bond. So maybe it's a case of Brosnan trying to get his, footing into the role, and then also the filmmakers going, right, well, okay, what is a Bond film? And then, like you said, tastes have changed a bit as well, so that may have affected the pacing of it. So when it
Yeah,
comes
because
to it,
it doesn't have the pacings of a film from 1995, right? It does feel like it feels more in step in terms of pace with like a late Connery Bond,
yeah,
because
but
but it doesn't have the
just
same pacing as like the Roger Moore ones are very quick, right? Like they're snappy movies. Whereas the Living Daylights, again, I think that is more. It's in tone, it's very GoldenEye, but it's a much snappier movie than GoldenEye. GoldenEye, there are so many peaks and troughs, and there are bits when I'm trying to put that film together in my head of how it all works, I get confused of what goes where in that movie.
think
If you get what I mean, there are points where I'm like, when did that happen in the movie? Was that before or after? And I never get that with any of the Moore movies or Living Daylights, but with some of the later Connery movies, I get that. Not the early Connery ones; they whip along, but it's the later Connery movies where things are getting a bit more darker as well. Because they then go lighter again with Roger Moore. But yeah,
I
that's
think
how I
though,
feel about it.
the last bit on this really is you think only 5 years later, well, 4 years later, really, you're getting the likes of the Matrix. You've had Face Off, you've had The Rock, you've got Swordfish in 2001. Right, but my point is this: by that point, and like I say, only a few years on, you seem to have big action scene,
Yeah,
to get the film going. Then quite a bit of dialogue and plot moving towards middle action scene, like using the Matrix as the best example. You've got everything kicking off at the start, and then you've got the part where Cypher double crosses him of it in the middle of the Matrix, and then obviously you've got the
yeah,
big fight scene at the end, to try and get everything wrapped up. And it's the same like when I remember watching Swordfish, because I was like, oh my god, what an intro, and then that's how it seemed to be. All these films then, big intro, big middle, big end, and then just the plot before. So then you remember the three peaks of the action.
yeah,
These massive set pieces, and then like I say, if you like I say with Goldeneye, if you are struggling to remember the order of them, it's just trying to shove so much in. But I think that'll be because it's the return of Bond after so many years away. Because it had
yeah,
been
quite
quite a
possibly.
while since you had it. Since you've probably the biggest gap in all the years Bond had been around.
Yeah, yeah, I
Anyway,
get you. Yeah.
let's move on to
So
the last film that I've not
the
seen because
last film.
I've
Have you
never
not seen
watched this.
this?
No,
So
I've
this
never
is
thought of this.
the Basketball Diaries, which stars Leonardo DiCaprio as a promising young basketball player who gets addicted to heroin. It's based on a real story, and yeah, which is called the Basketball Diaries. I think it's Jim Carroll. I think it is. It's a biography of his teenage years. But yeah, it's a really really good, powerful drama. DiCaprio's absolutely amazing in it. He's been amazing since he was a kid, right? As an actor,
Yeah,
like
I'll agree there. Like his early
it's
output was
insane.
really, really good.
Yeah, yeah, it's insane. He's been able to. I mean, I very much disagree with his selection of ladies. At his age, he should not be acting like that. At the same time, he is a fantastic actor. Like, I obviously, as young men, we didn't like him because he was much more pretty than we were.
Yeah,
And every girl that we knew would be like, I'd rather have Leonardo DiCaprio being me at the moment than you. And I'd be like, yeah, I would too. But yeah, but he is fantastic. Like, there's no denying how good he is an actor. The worst acting he's ever done that I've seen is Titanic. I think he's shit in that.
yeah, but you think that's like the first massive blockbuster. I know he'd done Romeo and Juliet and stuff, but when you have a look at other things he's done, like What's Eating Gilbert Grape,
Well, he
and
also did
then
The Quick and the
also
Dead
things like
this
This
year.
Boy's Life. It's what, sorry?
He also did The Quick and the Dead this year as well.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's
So
absolutely amazing.
you're thinking though, but these are more drama pieces. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean? Whereas
yeah, but
whereas
Titanic is
Titanic's a
like, he is
blockbuster.
so, yeah, but he's so crap in it. It's like he's really phoning it in that movie. Um,
Yeah,
Whereas Billy Zane is like the best thing in that movie.
yeah, because he hams it up.
He does ham it up. It's fantastic. But yeah, Basketball Diaries. I won't give too much away because it is a really good.
Yeah,
It's a really good movie.
it's not something I'm bothered about. You know, I remember again my ex-wife being obsessed with anything that he did. You know, um, but yeah, she used to have pictures of Leonardo DiCaprio all over the bedroom wall.
See, this is what I mean. This is,
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, and Brad Pitt.
yeah.
Yeah.
I know. I felt very
Anyway,
inadequate as a young man. Um, but
right,
then
moving
let's
on
move on
to
to music. Singles. Coolio's
music.
"Gangsta's Paradise" is still number one for the first week of the month. It is then dethroned by "I Believe Up on the Roof" by Robson and Jerome.
Yeah, I'm not discussing that. I hated all that shit that we did. Just putting out all these fucking wartime songs and shit like that, and it's like, oh, just piss off.
Yeah,
Honestly, I was a teenager at the time. I was getting really into like me indie and metal at this time and stuff like that, and it'd be number one for ages, and you're just going, oh, fuck off, you boring bastards.
yeah. Simon Cowell's fault for
Yeah,
number one.
yeah,
But let's look on the albums. Then we actually do have,
yes,
some decent stuff. So we've got "Different Class" by Pulp, which is the follow-up album from, what's the one that was before it?
his and hers.
His and Hers, which is fantastic. But that
Yeah.
wasn't the one that was the breakout album. This is the breakout album for Pulp.
Yes, yeah, no, absolutely amazing. This album.
I prefer
I
His
mean,
and Hers. I do.
his and hers has got some good stuff on it, but I think
Yeah,
this is full of
this is more
catchy
iconic.
sing-alongs.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah. But
yeah,
but his and hers is brilliant. I mean, the fact that I remember when I was really getting into Pulp with my mate Mariner, because the first gig I went to was Pulp in February '96 on this tour, and we went into our price and picked up like his and hers, and then found out they'd been going since like the '80s, and we are like, what? You know, like
I
they'd
know. I
they'd put
felt like
out
that
other
as well.
stuff, and I was like, hang on, they've been going since the '80s. Like this isn't their first album, and even finding his and hers, thinking, well, this has got to be the first album. And you're like going, no, no, it just took them bloody ages to get going, and then we're just, everything about Jarvis Cocker, he had this like cool factor,
Well, he
because
just didn't
obviously
give a
then
shit, did he? So
no, but that's just it. He wasn't cocky
it wasn't
like
Liam Gallagher
Gallagher's.
cocky.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
he wasn't gobby like Damon Albarn as well. They didn't get
yeah.
into all that. They
No,
just they
but
just
he
did their
had
own
like
thing. I always think they were like they were basically, when you have Blur and Oasis going for the title, as to put it. I think
yeah.
Blur were like not sorry, Pulp War was like the runners up, like with Suede, which were still really big bands, but they weren't like the big two. You
No,
know,
they I think Pulp and like Suede, like you're saying, and Supergrass, like I think they are better bands than Blur and Oasis. I
yeah,
like them, but they put out so much better material. It just wasn't material that made it big as much, Obviously, like Pulp had two massive hits off of this album, with Disco 2000 and Common People.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but Yeah, but I think that, and they are my least favorite tracks of theirs. Not because they're famous, just that they're not as good as, like. Do you remember the first time? And yeah, those sorts of things.
I like Feeling Cold Love.
Yes,
It's like,
yes,
yeah.
so good.
What is anyway, I'm not going to start singing it all, but
That's
I
okay.
really,
I was
really like
enjoying
that
it.
one.
I was finding the
I
happy place.
absolutely love that, and
Yeah.
yeah, it's just such a good album. But again, I think it's also because the singles got played so much. I mean, uh, like when I hear Disco 2000 and go, yeah, it's still a good song, but I've heard it about 1,000 times, and
Yeah,
now
maybe it's
I think,
overexposure, which is
Christ.
why I dislike it as much.
Like
Like as you.
I prefer Misshapes when I hear that.
Oh,
You
Misshapes is
know,
good. Yeah.
yeah, I just oh god, yeah. Pencil Skirt as well.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's just loads.
there
It's
is.
good times. Anyway, move on to
So
next one.
next we got, which this one, Made in Heaven. Obviously, this is Queen,
Mhm.
Made in Heaven. Obviously, Made in Heaven because Freddie Mercury had sadly died whilst this album was being written.
Yes.
Parts of it were recorded back in January 1980. Then back in the studio again in May 1991. So it was a long time coming, this album, if you could say. Then was released on the 6th of November 1995. But it does
He
have some
released.
absolutely really good songs on.
Well, is this the one he recorded a lot of it just as like the last days of his life, wasn't it? Because
Yeah.
I'm sure I watched a documentary. It took himself basically the cover of it with his arm up. I think
Yes.
to the sky.
Looking out
Um,
over the ocean.
yeah, because like
Yeah.
he just took himself off just to this like little hut or house or whatever, to basically work on this, knowing he's not got that long left. Again, I'm sure that's what the documentary was saying. I'm going back a good few years since I watched it. But go on, what tracks are on this?
So you've got It's a Beautiful Day, Made in Heaven, Let Me Live, I Was Born to Love You, Too Much Love Will Kill You. I love Too Much Love Will Kill You. I think that's the only ones I can think of. I think, I Was Born to Love You. Was that made for his girlfriend? The one that he was in love with, but wasn't like sexually in love with.
I'm not too sure. Not too sure.
I can't remember, but yeah, I think there's
The
some.
one who had she got a lot of his estate, I think.
Yes, yeah,
I can't
yeah.
remember. Is it the name
Because
Chrissy's ringing a bell, but I'm not too sure.
I can't remember. But
Anyway.
anyway, yeah, this has got some good stuff on.
Hmm.
I think
Yeah.
anyway. But it's not their strongest album, obviously.
No.
They've done much better than that.
Yes.
But it's decent. And I remember my mum bought it. She was a big Queen fan, so yeah, so I was able to listen to it quite a lot. So next, then let's move on to television in 1995. Nearly 85 then. So let's go to BBC One on the 13th of November. The 13th of November, we had The Thin Blue Line, a comedy starring Rowan Atkinson, James Dreyfus. Also had Mark Addy in it in an early role. Rudolph Walker.
Yeah.
So it's created by Ben Elton as well.
I watched the odd one of these, even though I really, really liked Rowan Atkinson through Blackadder and even Mr. Bean, and then also things like, Not the 9 o'clock News. So like I was, aware of his stuff, but this didn't really get me that much. I didn't really like Christ, who did you just mention? The other main one.
James Dreyfus.
Yeah, I don't like him. No,
I like him in this. I like him in this. I think he's good. I really enjoyed this show.
Yeah. No,
was it Rudolph Walker's in it as well? I think he was in EastEnders for a bit. He plays the constable from I think he's from Trinidad in the show. And he's really good. Like as a dry comedy actor, I thought he was absolutely fantastic. But yeah, Rowan Atkinson in this sort of plays second fiddle to everyone else, though. Like,
I think that's just it. But I think that's probably why I didn't like it that much. You know, it's sort of like I don't know, like for example, you know when you got British Empire and it'd still be Chris Barry, you know, with the ensemble cast around him. Whereas, like you say, with Thin Blue Line, it was
The
the
ensemble
cast.
is is bigger than Rowan Atkinson. Like Rowan Atkinson's role
Yeah,
is very much suppressed in that category. He's
yeah,
not
yeah.
really the main actor or the main character in it.
Yeah, it's almost like
Right,
the Thin Blue Line starring blah 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 and Rowan
Rowan
Atkinson.
Atkinson, but it isn't. It's like
Yeah,
Rowan Atkinson
in
and
the
then the
Thin
others.
Blue Line. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
but
But no, I've never been a fan.
I enjoyed
And
it.
I've tried it. I have tried it, even when you've seen it like over years and stuff. It's like, nah, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, but yeah, I quite liked it at the time. Next up, then on the 20th of November on BBC One again is Can't Cook, Won't Cook. You must have
I
watched
don't
some of
even know
these.
this. No, 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 not the type of thing I'd
Ainsley
ever
Harriet.
be bothered
So
about.
it was a
No.
cooking game show, ran for like 5 years. And it would be they'd have a contestant who could cook come on, and then who won't cook, and there'd be like a competition between them and a celebrity, I think.
It sounds awful.
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
sorry.
On
Sorry.
BBC Two on the 17th of November, we have Coogan's Run, one
Yes.
series of 6 episodes of starring Steve Coogan, and it's they
Playing
all live in
different
this.
characters.
He plays quite a few, doesn't he? So he plays
Yeah.
Pauline. You know, is it
Car.
Gareth Cheeseman?
It's Gareth Cheeseman.
Yeah,
Yeah, because you're a tiger. Raw. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I won't say the rest. But yeah, it's Gareth Cheeseman. Because I think a conference, a selling conference, something like that, set as a salesman, and then like say Paul and Pauline Calf. You've got the Natural Born Quizzes episode as
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
which is really really good. And those are the main ones that
Thursday Night Fever's
come to
really good.
mind. Which one?
Just one Thursday Night Fever, because you know when you got the club entertainer, who's
Yes,
like,
Tony Ferengo. Yeah,
yes, yeah,
yes, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's not bad. It stayed in my collection, Coogan's Run. I was looking at it the other day thinking I should really rewatch these because it's been quite a few years. And they're not really on TV that much
Because
because even at the
Pauline,
time.
Pauline was a character he'd already done, wasn't it? Like in
Oh
his
yeah, yeah,
stand-up,
yeah,
he
yeah.
used Pauline
Yeah,
in that. So
yeah, because I think it was Pauline before, I think maybe before Paul, but obviously both of them were, characters on his stand-up and stuff,
yeah, that's why I mentioned Pauline first, because I think she was the
Yeah,
first.
she seems to be. Yeah, I think she is the first one.
Yeah.
You know,
But
but
yes,
yeah, it's worth watching that.
it's a good one. I mean, unfortunately, Graham Lineman is involved, but
Anyway,
anyway. So on Channel 4 on the 13th of November, we have Pork Pie.
I don't know what this is.
Do you remember Desmond's?
Yes, I do
You
remember
come from the
Desmond's
sun.
barbershop.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah,
Which
I
was
didn't
one
watch
I
that
love
much.
Desmond so much. I used to watch that every time it
Channel
was on.
4, wasn't it?
Channel
Yeah,
4, yeah.
Channel 4 was Desmond's. Yeah.
Yeah, and this one is a spin-off show. It lasted for 2 series, actually. It's only 6
Really?
episodes each, yeah. And this has Pork Pie, who's one of the characters in that show. I think it's because the guy who played Desmond died or something, didn't he? That's why the show ended. But
Could be
Pork
'cause
Pie
he
was
was
a really
quite old.
popular cat. Yeah, but the Pork Pie was a really popular character, so he ended up getting a spin-off show because people really liked the show. You know, so yeah, he came back, and I think there are other characters from Desmond's in this still. So it's it was good. I watched it because I was a big fan of Desmond's, and yeah, I wanted to watch it because I really liked the characters that were in it. So let's move on to video games in 1995, and we have one video game released this month, which is shocking, considering we're coming up to Christmas.
Yes. Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, but I still stand by at this point. Most of the big titles are out the month before, really. You know, and like we've just mentioned recently, you've just had the PlayStation coming out.
So we are going to talk about then The Dig, which is a point-and-click adventure game from LucasArts,
Yes.
using the Scum engine, and this came out on PC and Mac.
Yeah.
This game I picked up probably in 1997 when I got a PC, and that was good enough to play games. And yeah, I love this. I love like nearly everything LucasArts did for point-and-click adventure games. Pretty much.
See, I couldn't get into this one at all. I remember my friend getting it for his 486, and it just went wrong on it. And I'm like, because we'd been playing point and click adventures for years, like as discussed on the Amiga episode we did, I was like, oh my god, it's new LucasArts, and I think it just came down to the characters. They didn't gel with me straight away.
It's not got the humour of, say, your Monkey Islands or even the Indiana Jones or Day of the Tentacle, things like that. It's not that humour in it. It's very much a science fiction point and click adventure. So it's more it's quite serious. Because this was originally meant to be a Spielberg's you remember he used to have Amazing Stories?
Yes, I do remember.
So this was meant to have been an episode of that, and then got made into a video game. And yeah, it's they discover this asteroid, and they and things. I can't give too much away.
No, I've never.
It's a really good story
to this. Because it's surprising though, because soon after this, or around this time, you had Full Throttle, which was another LucasArts one that I loved. So I think it's more to do with the setting, because that wasn't really funny. Full Throttle, it's just
no, true, yeah.
But I think
Grim Fandango has its humour, but yeah, this one doesn't really contain the designers on it. I'm just looking it up now, and it's Sean Clark and Brian Moriarty, who they weren't really like the big names there.
No.
But yeah, it's I really enjoyed it because I felt that it was because it was going round down that sort of more serious tone, and I was at that point but this is 1987 when I played it, so I was looking for more serious tone games and things at that point. And I think that scratched the itch for me. I enjoyed it. I know it's not the most popular one. Unfortunately.
No, it's not something I'd go for.
No.
I mean, while we're talking about games, I know we discussed this to just touch on a magazine. So we decided to go for a 90s one, only because obviously we've said so many times this era, 1995 for games, was so important because you still got the tail end of the 16-bit era, but you got the 32-bit era with the Saturn and the PlayStation really taking off. And
I missed
the magazine.
I'll just say that.
I know I do. But the magazine we just having a quick, just a couple of moments on is CVG, dated November 1995, and I pointed out to you, I went, this is quite a good issue just to basically start this on, because it's the first one done by Paul Davis, starting, who was like on CVG for years, and some people are saying that's like the best era for CVG. On the cover is Wipeout, a game that you've discussed a lot on the podcast.
The reason the podcast exists.
Wipeout, yeah, there you go. So again, because we did like a bit of a player's guide in this issue. But yeah, I just wanted to just basically point out, just showing like, I said to you, let's talk about like the top rated game and the worst rated game in the issue, as well as just a couple of stories. And like the top rated game, I was like, flicking through it and going, there's quite a few games here, like 94, 95%. And you're thinking nothing's going to beat that. But then, like I said to you, it was Vectorman
on the
Mega Drive,
which 96%. Is amazing. But it's so good. Like, it is really good. Maybe not a 96%. I would say it's probably about an 8 out of 10 at best. But it is really good. It's not as good as like Gunstar Heroes, right? But it is really, really bloody good.
It's exclusive as well, though, isn't it,
Yeah.
to the Mega Drive? I mean, I do wonder if they rated it so highly because they were like, "Oh my god, how is a game like this coming out on the Mega Drive?" At the end of 1995. I mean, I know they had Vector Man 2 as well,
That's
soon
not as
after.
good.
No, no, no. I know a lot of people rated Vector Man, but just other games in that issue. Like I said, there were things like International Superstar Soccer. There was stuff like a puzzle game called Zoop.
Oh yeah,
Most of
Zoot.
the
Yeah,
games,
yeah.
were 90 odd %.
Well,
Now,
Virtua Fighter was 95%, wasn't it? Like the
yeah,
second
yeah, and I was
version,
like, my god,
which is mental
it
because
just
that
shows
version is
how.
shit.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. But when Virtua Fighter 2 came out, it was a big
yeah.
step up. But the worst rated game was a game called Nova Storm on the PlayStation, 60%, which you still don't think is too bad. And even the
No,
review, when I looked at it, they were like going, "Yeah, it's not a bad game." You would just expected a bit more from the PlayStation, but
yeah, there was a lot of
60%.
that. Because do you remember Symphony of the Night was notoriously given lower scores?
Yeah, and Rapid Reload as
Rapid
well.
Reload, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
people wanted 3D
3D,
games and they wanted to be,
yeah.
showing off the capabilities. But just the other things that I just quickly mentioned. The big main news story, because they used to break it down into your PC news, your Sega news, and things like that. And like one of them was talking about Windows 95 just being
Oh yeah,
launched.
yeah.
And they were saying like, "Oh, this is going to be it now. It's going to change PC gaming. It's the best system to be using for gamers and everything like that." And you look at it, and this is around the same time that Pentium PCs are starting to take off as well. And I tell you what, they're not wrong. When you're not having to go to like DOS prompts to start your
Oh yeah.
game, or
As
even
soon as you can start
Windows
booting games from the
3.1.
OS, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And it was like a huge, huge step up. And then
I remember
also,
getting my
like,
first Football Manager on Windows 95, not Football
yeah,
Championship Manager,
yeah, Champ
and
Manager, yeah.
not having to go into DOS and run the commands to get it to work. And it was like, oh my god, this is amazing. It just installs and you run it, you know?
No, no,
And it's like,
exactly.
oh,
And it just
yeah,
sounds so different. But then we were saying as well, like, Creative Labs followed up their Sound Blaster card with the 3D Blaster graphics card. We've touched on this before when back when you had to upgrade your PC every 10
yeah.
minutes because it was out of date. But again, it was just showing how PC gaming was really, really taking off, you know.
The
And then we had a
first time I ever
massive.
got really pissed off about PC gaming was when I bought Grim Fandango,
All
and
right.
it didn't work with my sound card.
Oh,
So I had to get a new
yeah.
sound card, and I was like, because everyone was talking about, every review I read was about how good the voice acting was, and I
Yeah,
was like,
it's because you
yeah,
could, yeah, that's just it, isn't it? You want the talky versions, and just the last couple of big things on Sega. They were having a bit of a Sega preview, so it was the dregs of the Mega Drive games, but we had a big preview for X-Men: Children of the Atom coming to the Saturn as a big exclusive.
best home
Obviously,
version.
yeah, 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 exactly though. But it was the start of like the massive influx of one-on-one beat 'em ups,
Mm.
especially done by Capcom. Um, and then again, they were mentioning other games coming out, like your Virtua Fighter 2 to come, because he was trying to say the Saturn is going to beat the PlayStation. And it's funny when you look at this because obviously Sega was still a huge name,
Yeah,
and we're even still talking about the 32X just about with a game called Calibri,
because this is the
which
thing. I
I
do
played a few
remember
years ago.
both Games Master and CVG
Yeah.
were more advocates of the Saturn to begin with. I do remember that, but Edge weren't. Edge were like, no, the PlayStation is the one that's going to dominate,
It's
and they
because they were
knew.
Sega fans, but CVG have always been Sega fans, you
Yeah,
know. So yeah, and also remember Sega had been around for ages. Sony was still new to all this. I know obviously they've been publishing their own games on other consoles, which is quite funny because some of those were quite good. Some were awful as well. There's some
mm.
Sony um, Imagine Works or Image Works,
Image
things like
soft.
your Dracula and stuff were awful, but they did do a few good games as well. But Yeah, I mean, the last
The
bit
only good
really.
games they did was what, Skyblazer? That was the only good game?
Yeah, that was a really good one though on SNES.
Yeah.
But then also they're still promoting. This is end of '95. They're still promoting Atari for the Jaguar and the Jaguar CD, saying, "Oh yeah, this
Well,
Defender
that's all
2000's
Tom,
coming out."
right? That's just for
Oh
Tom. Like,
yeah, just for
yeah,
Tom, readership of
just for
one.
Tom. Yeah.
But yeah, it just surprised me because you think by the start of '96, yeah, all gone.
Yeah.
This is a tail end of things like the 3DO, the CDI, and stuff like that. It's just like, no, it's a Saturn, it's a PlayStation, PC, and just the dregs of 16-bit. But
Yeah.
anyway, that's all I wanted
Nice.
to point out, really.
Cool.
Just showing how times were changing, and this is why I just wanted to tag it into the '90s episodes.
No, that's
90s
cool. We'll
section.
do that again next month.
Yeah,
With another issue. I was going to say
yeah,
episode issue.
yeah.
Um, there's a bit of UK news this month, which the first one is on the 16th of November. There's actually two from that day. The Queen Mum, who's 95, has a hip replacement operation, and she is believed to be the eldest patient to undergo such surgery. So, well played, Mom. Essex teenager Leah Betts dies in hospital 4 days after slipping into a coma due to taking an ecstasy tablet whilst drinking large amounts of water, sparking a media crusade backlash by Leah's father and stepmother against the drug and those supplying it. Now, I remember this, and I remember, must have been 98, 99. I dropped my first ever pill,
Right.
and I remember drinking so much water, and then I had that flashback to the news story about Leah Betts,
Right. Okay.
and I remember thinking, "Oh my god, am I going to die?" And I remember just having the complete opposite reaction to everyone else who I was with, who dropped an E that night, who were all having a great time, loving up and everything, and there's me sweating in a corner, fearing for my life. And needing more water, and just thinking, "Oh my god, I'm so gonna die because I can't stop drinking water." I never did drugs again after that. So
No, fair enough. There you
yeah.
go. Moving on.
17th of November, launch of the European Space Agency's Infrared Space Observatory, including a long-wave spectrometer built in the UK. So that's pretty cool. And the Today newspaper is discontinued after 9 years in circulation.
Yeah,
I
I remember
remember that.
delivering that.
Yeah, I
Blue
used to
blue
deliver
top.
blue,
Yeah,
yeah,
blue logo. Yeah, I remember
yeah.
delivering that. Not that many of it on my paper round. I think it was only like one or two houses that ever
Yeah,
got the
we didn't get a
Today
lot. My
one.
mum was one that I used to deliver to. I did
Yeah.
live with my mum, but she was also on my paper round route. So I would get to her sort of midway through my paper round, and I'd be thinking, God, I'd really love to go home and go to bed. I've got to deliver all these papers if I want to make my £3.60 at the end of the week.
I'd spent all my paper on money saying, "Can you put it on my tab? Can you put it on my tab?" On
Yeah.
magazines and sweets, and then it'd get to payday on the Saturday. We'd like, right, Paul, you got 35p left. And I'd be like, going, man, I must spend that on sweets, eh? I was awful at saving money.
I was not actually. I was quite good at it. Mostly because we used to have my local news agency. You could have a tab there.
Yeah.
So I would, and he would only collect at the end of the year. It was great. So
Oh,
I
right,
would
fair
put
enough.
all my stuff
That
on a
then,
tab, and then I
end of
would
the
say
year.
to,
Jesus
but
Christ.
then I would say I would then use like my Christmas money and stuff to pay off my tab at the end of the year. But then also have money in the bank. It was great times. On the 22nd of November, Rose West is found guilty of murdering 10 women and children, including her 16-year-old daughter Heather and 7-year-old stepdaughter Charmaine. After her trial at Winchester Crown Court, she is sentenced to life imprisonment with a recommendation that she is never released. Her husband Fred, who committed suicide on remand at the start of the year, is believed to have committed at least 12 murders since the mid-1960s. So yeah, I do remember this being in the news.
Moving on.
Yeah.
Let's keep it live.
Not good. On the 30th of November, President of the United States, Bill Clinton, or as we now know him, Bubba, visits Northern Ireland,
Right,
which was
fair enough.
quite an historic moment for the President of the United States to visit Northern Ireland. So,
Yeah, because you still got the segregation there now. Well, you know,
well, yeah.
trouble's still going on.
It was prior to the Good Friday Agreement as well.
Yeah.
We'll take a quick break and we'll come back in the year 2005.
You found me. Dr. Chessington, that's it. Want to see my world of adventures? So many lands, you know, and each more fantastic, more amazing than the last. It's simply bursting with fun. Fun, fun, fun. The thing is, you see, I can't stand boredom. And I have to keep an eye on everything. And one thing I can see is you need a trip to my world of adventures, yes. Just ask for Chessington, yes. And we'll go for a little spin.
Hello, welcome back. We're now in the year 2005. Things are starting to get shit. Okay, so move straight into the movies. We do start with actually a banger, if you will. Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. Paul, tell me you've seen.
No, I've not. No. And this is Robert Downey Jr., isn't it? Now, I've had my manager at work tell me to watch this because it's meant to be amazing.
It is really bloody good. It's a Shane Black movie.
Yes, yeah.
It's so good. So you got Downey Jr. and Val Kilmer, and it's like it's a black comedy, crime film. It's really good. I'm trying to think about how to tell you without. No, just watch it, okay?
Yeah, no. This is one that I've been meaning to now for about 20 years. You know, because around this time in my life, I just had stopped working at Game Station, so I was quite skint. So I wasn't getting the free Blockbuster rentals either. And while I wasn't in work, I was just selling a load of shit and quite depressed. Anyway, try not to sound like two Alan Partridge. So yeah, that's where I was at the time.
Your sister Michelle Monaghan's in it.
I know. She's always done better than me. It's quite annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
could have lent me 20 quid at the time. Obviously didn't. Didn't return my calls.
She's a gorgeous looking woman though, Michelle Monaghan.
I know. She got the looks as well.
Yeah. And
anyway. Yeah, it's fucking difficult. Was it Leprechaun got the height?
But no, do watch it. It's fantastic. Like Val Kilmer is like he like plays Robert Downey Jr. off the park in this.
No, I have heard that. I've never heard a bad thing about this film from anyone who's seen it. They've all said like it's one of the best films from that year.
Yeah, it is. It's great. Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire was also released in November. It's pretty good. If you like Harry Potter.
Is that the one with Robert Pattinson in this one?
It is. It is indeed one with Robert Pattinson. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I remember watching this at the cinema.
Yeah, me too. I went with my now ex-wife. She wasn't my wife at the time, nor my ex-wife. And yeah, she got very emotional at the end.
Yeah, I went with my ex. Yeah, not wife, just ex girlfriend at the time. But yeah, anyway. Right.
And the last movie of the month is Transporter 2, which I don't even know if that stars Jason Statham or not. I know he wasn't.
It still has because he did 3 of them, but I couldn't tell you what happens in this. Again, just Jason Statham action film.
Yeah, I wouldn't know. Yeah, I get that and like Crank and stuff confused. I don't know which is which.
No, I know. Ditto. Well, Crank is the one where he's got to keep his heartbeat up.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, I remember that one. Yeah,
I remember that.
My partner, right? So this is Jason Statham related, and I've already told my Jason Statham story, but this is nothing to do with that. But anyway, she and I would always watch a movie, right? And she would always choose because I'm a gentleman, and I won't ever force my movies onto anyone.
Hi.
And yeah, she would always choose something with Jason Statham or later Bruce Willis movies.
Oh, right, okay.
And she would always fall asleep during them, right? Leaving me to watch these absolute pieces of shit.
Oh.
These crappy, low-budget action movies. And yeah, I would just be sitting there. And then if I tried to turn it over or like to play a game, she'd wake up and she'd, oh, I'm watching that. And I'm like, what's happened? What has happened? Tell me the story.
Yes.
Because
Oh,
I've
sorry,
been
that was
watching this.
Jason Statham film.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
There
my
is
bit behind.
one. There's one good film of Jason Statham's.
He's done quite a
Um,
few. He's got the
no,
Lock,
no,
Stock,
but
right? Snatch. I'm trying to think more now.
it's got in Paddy Constantine, and it's
How much does it break
criminal
your heart
actually.
to see Paddy in a bad movie?
And Jason Statham. Oh, fuck. That's Jason Stanley. Whoever, I don't know who that is. Statham. Right, because this one. I mean, the thing is with Jason Statham, you know what to expect. You know, the one that I was thinking of, and it wasn't too bad. I'm slowly getting to it. And it was called Blitz from 2011.
Never heard of it.
A tough cop is dispatched to take down a serial killer who has been targeting police officers. And yeah, Paddy Constantine and Aidan Gillen in it as well, and David Morrissey. So it's got quite a decent cast. And Mark Rylance, Luke Evans, yeah, Richard Rydell, whoever that is.
Luke Evans,
And yeah,
Statham's
anyway.
brother, the Fast and Furious universe.
But yeah, not bad. It's not bad. Called Blitz. Anyway, right. Moving on to the next one.
Moving on. We've got
Music.
music. We've got music. Singles. You Raise Me Up by Westlife.
Moving on.
Madonna, Hung Up.
That's probably the last Madonna song I really liked.
I hate
it's
it.
Still sort of catchy.
I hate the song.
You know,
I hate the album.
Okay.
Yeah, both. It's awful.
I
the
think
album.
This is the start of Madonna's
decline.
slide.
Yeah,
I would say.
But the album is Hung Up by Madonna.
Okay.
Yeah. TV. There's absolutely no debuts in November 2005 on TV. How can that be?
Fair enough.
How can that be? So we'll move on to video games. So we've got the original Star Wars Battlefront 2, which launched on PC, Xbox, PC, and PSP. My son, my 13-year-old son, and I still play this one regularly together. And even though we've got the more modern Battlefront, we still prefer this one.
Yeah.
Like, it's just a brilliant game from Pandemic, who is sadly no longer a studio. But yeah, it's so bloody good. Like, the multiplayer is fantastic, but it's also got really solid single player campaigns.
I think everyone agrees with you on that. But this always been seen as the best one because it was quite a big step up on the original.
It was, and
I remember seeing it all in the magazines. We were like going, "Oh my god, the next game's coming! The next game's coming!" Yeah,
it is great. And even though the new ones look amazing, they are good, but they're nowhere near as good as this. Next up, Donkey Kong Country 3 on the GBA came out. So that's late 95. That's after DS. So yeah. Then we have Gun on the PC, Xbox, PS2, and GameCube. Now, this was the Activision open world Western game, and it also came out on PSP as well, but a bit later.
And 360. I'm sure it came out 360 eventually.
It did again later. Yeah, it was. I think it must have been launched 360. It must have been over here.
See, I liked the look of this, but I never played it. I've had it in my collection, and because it was soon after Red Dead Revolver. I was like, oh yeah, this could be quite good, but
it is
never
good.
Actually tried it.
It is really good.
Okay reviews, your 7s and 8s. I don't think it was poorly reviewed at all. But
no, it's a good set. It's a good 7. It's not one of the bad 7s. It's a good 7. So next up we have the movies on PC. I love this game so bloody much. So this is
I couldn't play it. The PC we had at the time wasn't powerful enough. Because it was a shitty seller on PC, so everything inside it was just wank. And this is still where you needed a good PC to play games decently. But I wanted, because I played The Sims a lot, the original Sims, and then the original Sims 2. I loved the look of this, but no, I never had a chance to play it.
It's so good.
Sorry, anyway.
My friend Simon, who was on this podcast once, he made an episode of The Office, the UK Office, in the movies. So he
Nice.
made he did everything from it. I can't remember which episode it was, but he did it and used all the voices from so he recorded the audio from the TV show and then put it into the game and did it so that the game was so that the whole episode was in the game and did that. It's really cool. It's really cool. Showed me a video on his phone. No, did he? Oh, it was something else he showed me a video for, but he did tell me about this one. Sorry. Shadow the Hedgehog came out on the PS2, Xbox, and GameCube. This was absolute garbage.
Never played it. I just did not like the look of this at all.
They're like, how can we make Shadow different to Sonic? We'll give him a Glock. Okay. But then they did do a good Sonic game, which was Sonic Rush on the DS.
Now that is good. I really like this, because this is probably one of the best Sonic games I've played for quite some time. Because at the time I'd not played.
As well.
Yeah, no, exactly,
Yeah.
and the soundtrack is amazing, and it also has the track "Wrapped in Black" by absolutely love.
Yeah.
Brilliant game.
Yeah, it's a really good DS game. I like that. Need for Speed Most Wanted, which came out on everything. I'm not going to list everything. So that's the 2005 Need for Speed Most Wanted, not the Criterion one. This is the one that everyone retroactively says is good, but is shit. I'm sorry, people who like it. It is garbage. I can't believe you like this. Especially when they're like, oh god, I can't believe Criterion's Most Wanted. That's not Most Wanted. It's like, that's really, Criterion's one's excellent. This one is
that one that was a bit more like Burnout, Criterion's one? Because Criterion have done they did a.
It's more Burnout Paradise. Most Wanted, but the
Yeah.
actual racing in it is really good. It's a really good game. But this Most Wanted is just like a terrible one with a story. It's like, ugh, no, thank you.
No. I was only bothered about Burnout still at that time.
I did buy this at launch for the 360, Need for Speed Most Wanted, because I would buy every Need for Speed game, and I still do, like an absolute idiot. But yes, next up, another game that ended up being on the 360 is Peter Jackson's King Kong, which is notorious for having one of the easiest 1,000 points.
The Xbox achievement points. Yeah. I can't remember. I always remember that being pointed out. But no, I remember King Kong coming out.
It was a decent. It was a decent licensed game, though. To be fair, considering when you watch
one
the movie,
of the last ones, because there weren't that many game licenses coming out after this period.
And remember, the movie doesn't lend itself very well to be a video game.
No, that's true.
But this they did make it work in this game. It is a good game. It's pretty decent. I enjoyed it. I didn't play it on 360 though, unfortunately. I played it on PS2, so I didn't get any of those sweet Chivos. Next up is Prince of Persia: The Two Thrones, which was on PC, Xbox, PS2, and GameCube, and later on PSP and Wii.
Was this a third game?
Yes, this is the third one.
Trilogy? Yeah.
Which confusingly has 2 in the title.
Yeah.
This is the one. So it goes. So how it works is you got Sands of Time, which is like a masterpiece.
Yeah.
Right up there with the original Prince of Persia as being good. Right.
Yes.
Then you have The Warrior Within, which is absolute trash made by someone who was really, really into Evanescence at the time, or My Chemical Romance, right? And then you get The Two Thrones, which is more of a return to Sands of Time. But then they go and so they start off the game and it's like, this is more like Sands of Time. Brilliant. And then they're like, but what if we throw some more of that sweet emo shit at you? And it's just, and you're like, for fuck's sake, you were so close. Why didn't you just keep it like Sands of Time? It's so stupid. But the thing is, it's like 70% of it is great. Whereas Warrior Within, there's like nothing good about that game. I freaking hate that game. I've never bought a game where I've been that disappointed as a sequel to a game that from a series that I really loved the first one of. Like, never. Never before, never since. Yeah. So let's move on to the news then. So on the 25th of November, we only have one bit of news, and it's quite a sad one. 25th of November, the world mourns George Best, the legendary former Manchester United and Northern Ireland player, who dies from multiple organ failures. In London, a 7-week illness at the age of 59. Best, an alcoholic for more than 30 years, had been admitted to hospital in early October, suffering from an infection brought on by an anti-rejection drugs that he had been taking since a liver transplant in 2002.
Yeah, he was known, wasn't he, for the booze and everything like that.
He was.
And the thing is, he was always on, like, any of the football shows. So he was always, like, used to his opinions and stuff for, quite a lot. So it was a big thing, obviously, when he went.
Yeah, it was. It was a very big thing, and even though he's a Manchester United legend, I still was very sad to see him pass.
Yeah. There's certain players when you just can, you can see.
But the thing is, if you watch any videos of him, he was like so good for that period that he's playing in. Like, he's head and shoulders above like most of the players of that era. He's probably got Pele. He's probably like one of the few better than him.
Yeah.
And you're talking Pele, like one of the greatest football players that's ever lived. And I would say George Best is not far off him in that period. He's that bloody good. Tragic. Let's take a quick break and then we'll come back in the year 2015.
When the clever chaps at Walker's made potato heads, they took artificial colours, flavours, and preservatives and chucked them in the bin. Then they removed 70% of the saturated fat compared to standard Walker's crisps. But left behind all the great Walker's taste. Handsome devil.
Hello, welcome to the year 2015. Paul, should we just get straight into the movies?
2015, yeah, let's go for it. Here we go.
Okay, so there's only 3 movies, but one of them is Bridge of Spies, the Ethan and Joel Coen written movie, directed by Steven Spielberg, starring Tom Hanks. Now, before we go fully into this, I just want to say, if you had told me in around about 1992 that the Coen brothers would write a movie with Tom Hanks, I would say dark comedy.
Yeah, especially with what they were putting out at the time.
Yeah, well, all 3 of them, right? The Coen brothers were doing dark comedies, and you had Tom Hanks, who was still doing comedy in 1992. He hadn't yet moved on to Philadelphia at that point, or Sleepless in Seattle, that sort of stuff. So, but this is a historical drama, and it's pretty good, I would say. I don't think it's as good as, say, Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy as a spy movie.
See, I'm not. I didn't even want to watch this at all. I've never watched it.
Oh,
I'm sorry. I just never have.
Yeah. Okay.
And I feel like I should do now, seeing you saying it's a bit of a spy thriller, obviously, with the title. But yeah, it just never appealed to me. The thing is with Tom Hanks, I don't love him. You know what I mean? I like his 80s comedy output and, some of the serious roles. So, I like Castaway, but I've watched it once and that'll do me. Same with Philadelphia. I watched it once and that'll do me. But it's like we said before with, like, say, Harrison Ford. I've watched some really crap films of his more than once.
Just quickly on Philadelphia, just to say, Tom Hanks is punching well above his weight in that movie with Antonio Banderas. I'm saying Antonio Banderas. Now he is an Adonis, and then I've got to believe that Tom Hanks has managed to bag him. I don't.
Well, there you go.
I don't buy it. But yes, Bridge of Spies. I reckon. I think this is decent. It's no Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy, but I do think that us Brits do that sort of movie better than the Americans do in terms of spy thrillers like that, or dramas. Sorry, because it is a spy drama.
Yeah.
So let's move on to the next movie, Hunger Games 2 or Hunger Games Mockingjay 2 or something. I don't know. I've never watched any of these movies.
I have watched this, but like at the cinema when it came out, it's what 10 years ago now. And again, when I was going through the Blu-rays, what to get rid of the other day, I look at the Hunger Games films and go, will we ever watch these again? And like I could hardly remember what even happens in each one. Because obviously, what's she called? Why can't I think of the main actress?
Jennifer Lawrence.
Yes, Jennifer Lawrence. Yeah, because obviously she's meant to be the savior. I just remember, I think the end of this film, because the last book they split into two films. Because I remember like Philip Seymour Hoffman, for one of his last roles, being in it as well, and they had to like try to scramble to get his last scenes together. But I can't remember what happens in the second one. Apart from each film had some big name actors in, and things like that. But yeah, I just couldn't tell you anything about it. But yeah. So next,
I've not seen it. So this movie, The Good Dinosaur, I went to watch this at the cinema with my son. So he would have been 3.
I've never watched this one. I know the dinosaur's called Arlo because
yes, he is. So he's one of I think 3 boy dinosaurs, and he's less competent than the others. So he's a bit clumsy and stuff, and his dad sort of looks out for him a bit more. And the thing, my biggest memory from this movie is, this is a spoiler, the dad dies saving his son. And my son burst into tears.
Oh, God.
And then holding me and just being like, I don't want you to die. So I'm getting choked up even thinking about it. But yes, it was... that will live with me forever. And I've watched it since, and all I can think about is my son being so sad. So yeah, but I do remember it in, like, the movie being good. But just that seeing my son's heart break was awful, absolutely awful. So let's move on to music. Stuff we know so much about in the year 2015. So we got "Hello" by Adele.
Hello, goodbye. So this must have been Adele's third album, maybe.
This is just the single that was number
one.
No,
yeah, but I'm just trying to think like when it came out. In fact, this might actually be the 25 album that she did. But yeah, I couldn't care less. Just popular around this time.
I only really like "Rolling in the Deep." I think that's absolutely brilliant track. You disagree?
I just couldn't give a damn. It's just because the thing is, there's certain artists that have just basically working at HMV over the years has just basically added up to hatred and resentment for so many people. Where I just like go, no, this is why I don't really like Arctic Monkeys, because again, of when that second album came out, it got played to death. Anyway.
When I was working in Clinton Cards as a weekend job, they used to play a really bad version, well, not a bad, just an instrumental version of the "I don't care what they say, this is my life."
Yeah, no.
But that would be on over and over and over again on my Saturdays and Sundays, just ruining my weekends. I can't stand that song.
But do you know what you can get on Spotify? Although I have actually ended up playing it because it's quite interesting. The shop, the Gap shop, they used to have in-store radio, and someone who worked there has put together playlists on Spotify from various months and years. So it'd be like March 1992, all the stuff that be on the Gap in-store radio station. Which is actually quite interesting, but as the years go on, it gets god awful. But they do play some like 80s stuff in there as well, and then what was modern current in the charts. So sometimes at HMV I just go, right, I'm going to put on one of the 90s Gap playlists, But that's one reason why I like 40-Year-Old Virgin, just for that bit playing the Michael McDonald with Paul
Yeah.
Rudd, just going like, if I have it one more time, I'm gonna something burn this place down. And it's just like, hearing the same song again and again and again. It's
That's how I felt about that song.
yeah.
Yeah.
I can't even think what the song's called. I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, I can't
Oh.
think of it. But yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, albums. So we had Sounds Good, Feels Good, 5 Seconds of Summer.
They've just had a new album out this week. Well, last week. Yeah. It's bit popular with the kids.
I've never heard of them.
They look a little bit like McFly, that sort of thing.
Okay, never heard of them. If I Can Dream by Elvis Presley. I mean, we thought Queen were impressive by doing an album in 1995. That's even more impressive for a man who died
God
in
almighty.
1977, was it?
Yeah.
For Elvis Presley. So, yeah.
I don't even recall seeing that, but again, I wasn't working at HMV in 2015.
So let's move on to television. We have one debut, and that was on BBC Three, and that was on the 11th of November, and that is Josh, a British sitcom starring Josh Widdicombe, Ellis James, Beatty Edmondson, and Jack Dee. Also, Jennifer Saunders was in it as Beatty's mum in the show, but she was also Beatty's mum in real life. But I will say this for this show. It's a good job. Josh Widdicombe is a good stand-up comedian.
I didn't watch this. I don't really like him, so
He is not a good actor.
Yeah, right. Fair enough.
Yeah, and I say that as someone who is not a good actor as well. But I was just like, oh, this is painful. Yeah, I watched a few episodes and I was like, no, it's not for me. So let's move on to video games then.
Yes,
so video games.
you.
We've got Anno 2205, which was the futuristic version of their City Builder series, the Anno series that's been quite long running. And there's a new one coming out this month, I believe.
I never played any of them, and in the past, that's the type of thing I'd have loved. Anything real-time strategy, city building.
Well,
but,
the one that's coming out. The one that's coming out this month, I think it is, that looks really good. I'm quite tempted to give that one a go. So yeah, I don't remember seeing much about this one, so I'm not sure how well it did or how good it was. Then we have the Need for Speed reboot, which is on PC, Xbox One, and PS4, which is just called Need for Speed. It's a bit like Underground, but kind of shit. It has those horrible story bits in it that I dislike about the Need for Speed series. I'm just like, just let me drive cars.
Yeah, I think I've played a bit of this, like when it's been on things like PlayStation Plus, that sort of thing. Because even though it's not really my genre, I've just gone, oh, go on, see what it involves and stuff. And sometimes you're like, a game like that doesn't need storyline, because the games like Grand Theft Auto, it feels like they're going, right, okay, we need to make this, a background story, and it's crime, it's all corrupt, it's street racers, but it's also something edgy is going down, and there's crime, and you're like, isn't this just about racing cars?
Yeah. Just let me race my car. I don't care about your story or your drama.
Yeah.
So next up we have Call of Duty Black Ops 3 on PC, Xbox One, PS4. There was also a version released on PS3 and Xbox 360, but was kind of different because it didn't have the single player. Maybe that was missing from it because they couldn't do it without doing a because they couldn't do it without doing it as a cooperative.
I seem to remember something like that.
That's from memory.
I seem to remember mode being taken out because obviously we did maximum power up around this time, and I think I remember discussing this.
So I didn't really. I played this one for a little bit, but I didn't really enjoy it. So
No. It always seemed to be every other Call of Duty game was, the best one. Then you'd have
this,
a fallow year, and then
yeah,
because it was done by two companies, wasn't it?
well, this is
Treyarch or someone?
Treyarch's one.
Yeah,
So back then it was Treyarch Infinity. Well, no, back then it was
yeah,
more
Infinity Ward. No,
Infinity War. But then they had Sledgehammer Games as well, who did Infinite. Did they do Infinite Space? No, that was which one did they do?
oh God
Advanced
knows.
Warfighter. Sledgehammer did Advanced Warfighter and World War Two. Infinity Ward did the Infinite Space one, or whatever it was, Call of Duty Infinite, maybe, I don't know. Infinite Space is a game on DS, isn't it? Maybe it's just called Call of Duty Infinite. And it was the one
that
with
rings a bell.
it's the one with Jon Snow in it, anyway. Not the news presenter.
Oh, listen,
that would be
look,
amazing.
look. You know full well, Call of Duty just does nothing to me. I think I've played one of them. That's it.
Well, I enjoy them occasionally, and like I said before on this podcast, COD Blops 6 is really bloody good. Next up, Fallout 4 on PC, Xbox One, and PS4, which has just also seen a 10th anniversary release on the modern platforms. I haven't played this much,
I've not either.
mostly
It's massive.
because I got Syndicate not long afterwards.
Oh, right, okay.
So I ended up playing that instead, and then it just dropped off. And then I have since picked it up on PSN when it was like £4 or something, years and years and years ago, and didn't realise that until the PS5 version was released like a couple of years ago. And it was there in my library to download, and I was like, oh, cool. So yeah, I am going to get to that. It's on my list. I think it's currently 5th on my list of games to get through.
I did
backlog.
get that. I bought that, so I got it physically in the drawer behind me where I'm sat. And same with the next game, that's also in the drawer behind me.
Yeah, this was weird, right? Because this is a Rise of the Tomb Raider, which only came out originally on the Xbox 360 and Xbox One. Didn't even get a PC release at this point. So it wasn't until they released it on the PS4 and the PC like a year later, I think it was.
Yeah.
And it's just like, what a bizarre exclusive for Microsoft to try and get a game that, like, it doesn't have the hype around it anymore.
Well, no, because I think that's a bit unfair. I think at the time, obviously this Tomb Raider trilogy done by Crystal Dynamics, because the original 2013 one, which
It
again
did
just
okay,
had a reissue. I really, really, really enjoyed it.
Oh, I
it's one
love
of the few
this
games I
series.
played all the way through.
This trilogy is one of my favorite series. I love it. I love it so much. And I've just bought the first one again on Switch 2, because I really like that series. Yeah, I really like it, and I really like this game as well. I just don't. It's not like in 2015, Tomb Raider was not something that would be. This is a game we're going to pay for and get the exclusive on. Like, it just isn't, right? Because it just wouldn't be that game. It's not going to shift It's not going to shift units.
No, but again, right? Maybe I think it probably fits out. I would say this is the start of a slide of Microsoft.
Well, that had already happened in like 2011 or something.
Well, I think by this point, like apart from Halo and the Rare games, what exclusives did we have? Nothing. Because like we said before, when it was
Gears of
PS3
War,
generation, yeah, all right, Gears of War. When it was PS3 generation, one before this and 360, they were obviously winning that for quite some time, and then obviously Sony finally caught up, and then by the start of this, the PS4 just battered it straight away. And well, you look at where Xbox is now; it's a complete and utter mess. But
what
anyway,
surprises me is that the 360 version is only worth £3.
yeah,
Because I can't imagine that would have sold very well on the 360. Because you're talking, 2 years into the life cycle of the Xbox One and PS4. I just can't, seems odd.
But it comes down to whether or not there's collectors. I've seen a few people collecting every single 360 game, because remember, that's one of the last physical physical only, or mostly physical.
Yeah, you've got
Game
problems with
collections,
that,
like
it
PS3.
being, but you've got problems with it being region locked,
Yeah,
which makes it
yeah.
difficult to be able to get games that you can play, because you'd have to go and get a modded Xbox 360 to be able to do that, which is hard to do these days. But yeah, there's, and plus you've got so many games that are on the download service, which is dead now. They've closed the Xbox 360 store.
Yeah,
So it does make that console less appealing.
But it just shows, doesn't it? Right, we'll move on in a sec, but it just shows how quick things change over 10 years. Do you know what I mean? Like now, there's games that you can no longer play, but that's going to an entire.
Cannot wait to talk about Xbox 360 next month on an extra podcast.
Yeah,
I really can't. I've got such strong feelings.
I don't have that many memories on that at all.
I have such strong feelings, good and bad, for that system. Also released, as we were mentioned earlier, Star Wars Battlefront on PS4, PC, and Xbox One. This was the EA one with DICE, which had like the best video game commercial of all time as a Star Wars fan. So it had the thing with the two friends. They had their little toy figures, and they're both working, and they've got so you see them as kids, and they've got their toy figures, and then you see them at work, and then one of them turns up in an X-wing, and then it's about them, like, you don't have to grow up, you can still love your childhood. It's cool. It's a very cool video, a very cool advert. I love that advert. The game less so. Assassin's Creed Syndicate came out on PS4, PC, and Xbox One. This is the one set in Victorian London. I've spoken about it many times. It's at the start of during the Industrial Revolution. I think it's fantastic. I think Unity is the better of the two games of this style, but it is the last traditional Assassin's Creed game.
That's crazy though. That's 10 years ago now. Absolutely crazy.
We have the traditional Assassin's Creed has been gone for 10 years now. But we've also had like 72 other Assassin's Creed games released in the meantime. Next up is the absolutely awful Mario Tennis Ultra Smash on Wii U.
I never played this because I only knew one person with a Wii U, and he didn't buy it.
So I bought this later because I got my Wii U, like, I think about, may have been this year actually. Yeah, it's probably 2015 that I bought a Wii U, and I bought this a bit later when I saw it on base.com for like £5 or something. And yeah, it feels like, what if someone with a really low budget made a Mario Tennis game? It feels like if it didn't have, it still had all the graphics and everything of of a Mario game and the look and everything, but it felt like one of those games you'd get with like the white label on PlayStation. Do you remember those white label ones?
Yes, I do. Yeah. The budget £10 games.
Yeah, that's how it felt to play it. It was so bad, like easily the worst of the Mario Tennis games. Like it's just so awful. I can't believe they had the gall to put that out and charge full price for it. I mean, did no one there play that? Like, did no one at the company play it and go, "You sure we should release this?" Like, no one, like not one person at Nintendo were like,
well, by that point, there would probably be about 10 Wii U owners, where they're like going, "Hi, yeah, I've had my Wii U now for about 2 years. It's like, when are some games coming out?" And some people go, "Well, it's a Mario game. I suppose it'll do." And literally, that's how Nintendo have seen it, going, "Yeah, it'll do." But you think it's still another 18 months until the Switch came out. Yeah. Roughly 18 months, which absolutely blows my mind.
I know.
What the hell were they putting out for the next 18 months on the Wii U and 3DS?
Well, they released a NES Mini, didn't they, first? That was like their big thing for 2016's Christmas.
Yeah, Jesus Christ, says it all, doesn't it?
So the last game of this month was Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes on iOS and Android. This is like a hero style thing, like a loot boxy thing.
Yeah.
Fight like RPG turn-based battles. And I was surprised to see that it's just celebrated its 10th anniversary and is still going strong.
Oh wow, okay. I'll
Yeah.
credit to him then on a
Yeah.
mobile game. You know,
Yeah,
at
still
least
going.
as well, even though it's not the type of thing I'm bothered about, it's the fact that mobile games lasted that long, and obviously they're still hosting it.
Mm. Exactly. So many of these games that are online and stuff, they just go. They just vanish. You never see them again.
No, exactly.
And there's, when this game gets shut down, you can still have it on your phone, but you'll never be able to play it because it just won't launch, which is
Yeah,
mental.
I know.
Yeah. So anyway, let's move on to the news. There's only a couple of bits. So on the 18th of November, thousands of homes are left without power as Storm Barney rips through parts of the United Kingdom. Did it hit you, Paul?
No, I don't recall that. I do remember
Barney.
the month after is when we got flooded in December 2015 and caused damage to our front room, which we had to have gutted and everything because the river up the road burst its banks. Well, the stream, and that's what we woke up to on Boxing Day, and we were extremely hungover, and we went, oh God, the streets outside are flooded, and oh God, it's coming into the house. And then it took about 6 months to fix the house up again and going through insurance and stuff. But no, we avoided the Storm Barney, luckily.
That's good to know. It didn't hit us either, I don't think. On the 29th of November, in tennis, Great Britain win the Davis Cup for the first time since 1936 after Andy Murray beats Belgium's David Goffin at the final in Ghent. So
not into tennis, but that's quite like
that's
80
quite a long
years.
time, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, mental. 90 nearly. Because we are in 2025, so 80 years.
Yes.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I was thinking until now.
Yeah.
And also, sadly, there was the last sighting of a golden eagle in the UK.
Yeah. Are they officially extinct now then?
No. They're still around, just not in the UK anymore.
Oh right, okay. All right.
Which means that our climate is not suitable for them anymore. So because they would hunt bigger animals, so like hares and rabbits and squirrels and things like that. So I guess like our environment in this country is not suitable for their hunting anymore. Probably lights and things like that and cars and things just make it a lot more difficult for them. So yeah, very sad. But they are still around. They still have a large number of the species left, just in other parts of the Northern Hemisphere, just not in the UK, which is absolutely tragic. And that is the end of this show. Thank you again for joining me, Paul.
No worries.
Do you want to plug your little magazines before we go?
Magazines? Yes. Again, currently working on the next issues, so obviously still time to get the current ones. Again, our one-off tribute to Amiga format, complete with X-copy cover disc, is an option, or there's a download code with it anyway. And again, on Pixel Addict, we have an interview with Jordan Mechner from Prince of Persia. So those recent Prince of Persia games that we mentioned tonight are touched on a little bit. So yeah, it's there's a lot in that, really is, and packed full of both mags, interviews, reviews, news, and things. And again, anyone who does support the Addict magazines, a big thank you, because it is difficult, but I think people of our vintage, Chris, I've got so many good magazine memories. It's good to have that niche still out there. But yeah, addictmedia.com. But yeah, there we go.
It would be nice to see them on the shelves.
I know. I mean, I look at it now. I need to get some more binders to put my work in because they're all just basically piling up.
I meant shop shelves.
Oh yeah, shop shelves. Well, Amiga Addict is, but Pixel Addict took out 2 years. We only ever get in 1 or 2 copies at TG Jones or whatever it's called now, or try your travel news agents at WH Smith's as well, like Liverpool. I always see it there. Manchester's not got one anymore.
Yeah, I don't think I'm just going to take a flight just to get your magazine.
Yeah, I know. I remember seeing it when I went to Paris and I was like, oh, there's my magazine. I could buy it to read on the plane. It impress
You're-
people. Oh, what you reading? Just this, done by me. I've just got. Are you?
Like the
you know,
Amiga.
yeah. I just go. Is that still a thing? Yeah. Yeah. Anyway,
Cool.
yeah, I'm just basically going over one last read of Death of Dial-Up for our next cover feature. So
Oh,
yeah,
cool.
that's the end of that now. Anyway, right,
Nice.
I'll let you.
Thank you very
Thank you
much for
having me.
listening, everyone. And yeah, no worries. Yep. So thank you very much, and catch you again next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.